This person feels they are losing you, and they are about to do something surprising. Take a deep breath, quiet your mind, and for a moment, let yourself be fully here, because this message did not come to you by accident. Someone is thinking about you right now with a heavy heart. Not just briefly, not casually, but in a deep and emotional way that they cannot ignore anymore. This person feels something slipping away from their hands, and what is slipping is you. Hello everyone, welcome to Never Give Up. Do not forget to follow, tap the bell icon, and choose all notifications, because every message here can shift the way you see your situation and help you understand what is really going on behind silence and distance. They feel a shift that they cannot fully explain. They may not even know the exact moment things started changing. They just know something feels different now. Your energy does not reach them the same way it used to. Your presence feels quieter, softer, more distant. Even if you still talk, even if you still respond, even if you still show up in some form, they feel a gap that was not there before. That gap is emotional distance, and it is growing slowly but clearly. This scares them more than they want to admit, because deep inside, they believed you would always stay. They never truly imagined a version of reality where you start pulling away for real. They assumed you would understand them again and again, that you would forgive again and again, and that you would remain available no matter what. Not because they thought you did not have feelings, but because they became too comfortable in your presence. They started to believe that love would continue without effort. That connection would survive even if it was not nurtured. That silence would not have consequences. But now they are facing the truth of that thinking. The fear inside them is quiet, but it is very powerful. It does not show as panic on the outside. It does not always come out in obvious ways. Instead, it lives inside their thoughts, especially during the night when everything becomes silent and honest. They replay conversations in their mind. They remember how you used to respond compared to now. They notice how calm you have become, and your calmness affects them deeply, because calmness is not emotional chaos. Calmness is acceptance forming, and acceptance is usually the step right before letting go. They can feel you pulling back emotionally. You are no longer searching for explanations the way you used to. You are no longer asking for comfort in the same way. You are no longer trying to fix everything alone. You have stopped over-explaining your feelings. You have stopped reacting quickly to every situation. You have stopped waiting in the same emotional space you used to wait in. And this shift changes everything for them. Because now they are the ones who are unsure. They are the ones questioning. They are the ones sitting in silence and thinking about what comes next. They slowly start to realize they might be too late to respond in the way they should have earlier. This realization does not hit all at once. It comes in small moments. When you reply differently, when your attention feels divided, when your energy does not rush toward them like before, when they imagine your life moving forward without them and feel a strange emptiness inside, they begin asking themselves questions they avoided before. What if I lose them completely? What if someone else values them in a way I did not? What if I waited too long and now time is working against me? These thoughts start small, but grow stronger with every passing day. Inside them, there is a battle. One part wants to reach out immediately. That part wants to apologize, explain, fix things, and promise change. But another part holds back. That part is fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of not being enough anymore. Fear that you might not feel the same, even if they finally speak. They are stuck between pride and emotion, and that inner conflict is slowly breaking something inside them open. Memories come back more clearly now. They remember your patience, your effort, your loyalty, and the way you stayed even when things were not easy. They begin to see your value more clearly than before. But now that realization comes with regret. Regret always arrives late. It comes when action feels harder and loss feels real. They start observing you more carefully now. your tone, your silence, your independence, your emotional distance. They notice you are not depending on them the way you used to. You are not waiting in the same way anymore. And this version of you feels different to them. Stronger, calmer, more centered. And that is exactly what makes them uneasy. Because your energy is no longer tied to them. You are not emotionally standing still anymore. You are moving forward, even if quietly. This is the point where something unexpected begins to form inside them. The fear of losing you reaches a level where it can no longer stay silent. They will feel pushed to act. And when they act, it will not be small or casual. It will not feel half-hearted or careless. It will come from pressure, emotion, and realization, all mixed together. What they do might surprise you. It could be a sudden message, a confession that comes out after a long silence, an apology that feels deeply emotional, a conversation they avoided for a long time, or an attempt to show up in ways they never did before. It will feel intense because it comes from urgency. But here is something very important you need to understand. Just because they finally act does not mean everything automatically becomes okay again. You are not the same person you were before. You have changed. You have grown emotionally. You have learned what it means to choose yourself instead of waiting endlessly. So when their unexpected move comes, it will place you in a new position, a position of clarity. You will need to decide carefully. Do you want what they are offering now? Not based on emotion alone, but based on truth. Ask yourself honestly, is this effort stable or just emotional reaction? Is this change consistent or temporary? Is this coming from real understanding or fear of losing control? Are they choosing you freely or only reacting because they sense distance? You no longer have to accept less just because it feels familiar. Your energy shifted for a reason. You did not pull away to punish anyone. You did not become distant to play games. You changed because your inner peace required it. And that shift is what triggered their awareness. Whether you continue with them or not, one truth remains clear. You are the reason this change is happening. You are the awakening in this situation. You were never invisible. You were simply not fully seen at the right time. As you move through this phase, you may notice silence around you. But that silence is not empty. It is space for your strength to grow. It is space for your clarity to develop. It is space for you to understand your own worth without distraction. They are now seeing you as someone who is not waiting at the door anymore. They are seeing you as someone complete on your own, confident, stable, and emotionally independent. And that realization is what pushes them toward action. They are also realizing something deeper. While they were comfortable, you were evolving. While they delayed emotional responsibility, you were growing internally. And now that difference between you and them feels obvious. When they finally reach out, you must be very aware of timing and energy. Because real change is consistent, not emotional and temporary. Panic can create strong words, emotional messages, and sudden promises. But consistency is what proves truth over time. You may receive long messages, emotional apologies, or strong promises about change. But you must ask yourself a deeper question. Would this effort exist if you had not started moving away? Would they have acted if fear had not entered their heart? Now you are in a powerful position, not because you are controlling anything, but because you finally see clearly. You are no longer questioning your worth. They are now the ones questioning what they might have lost. This period is not just about their reaction, it is also about your transformation. You are learning that your peace is more valuable than confusion. You are learning that love should not only feel active when you are about to walk away. In the coming days, you may feel pulled emotionally toward old patterns. You may remember good moments and feel tempted to return quickly. But remember why you changed in the first place. You changed because you realized your value should not depend on absence or distance. Their urgency is a reflection of your worth, but your worth does not depend on their urgency. You already carry that value within yourself. You are not discovering it now, you are remembering it. So when their unexpected action arrives, stay grounded. Do not rush your decision. Do not let their emotional timing control your healing process. Their fear does not define your direction. Trust yourself through this process, because your intuition already knows the difference between real change and temporary fear. You will feel it clearly if you listen carefully. And when everything unfolds, you may feel many emotions at once: relief, confusion, softness, or even sadness. Because sometimes seeing someone try after a long time can open old feelings. But you must look beyond emotion and into reality. See whether their effort is strong enough to last, or whether it only exists to escape the pain of losing you. That answer will guide everything that comes next. They are acting now because the reality of your absence has finally hit them. They are realizing that the person who always understood and always stayed has finally reached a limit. This is the moment where their words must be supported by a real change in how they live their life. You might notice that they start bringing up old memories or trying to remind you of the good times you shared. This is because they want to pull you back into the past, where they felt safe and in control. But you do not live there anymore. You have moved into a future where you value your own peace more than a familiar habit. As they try to close the gap between you, stay observant. Watch if they truly listen to your needs now, or if they are still just talking about their own fears. The way they handle your distance will tell you everything you need to know. If they get angry that you are not immediately running back, then their change was not about love, it was about control. But if they show you patience and respect your space, it shows they are finally learning how to value you correctly. This next part of your story is about staying true to the growth you have worked so hard for. It is easy to fall back into old patterns when someone starts showing you the attention you always wanted. However, you must remember the nights you spent wondering why you were not enough. You must remember the silence that forced you to become strong on your own. Do not let their sudden urgency make you forget your own journey. You are allowed to take your time. You are allowed to say that their effort is appreciated, but that it might be too late. Or you are allowed to see if a new foundation can be built. The choice is entirely yours, and for the first time, you are making that choice from a place of strength rather than a place of hunger for their love. Trust that whatever happens next is leading you to a better place. If this person is meant to be in your life, they will find a way to match your new energy. They will stop making excuses and start making sense. If they cannot meet you where you are now, it simply means they were a chapter in your life, not the whole book. You have already won because you found yourself in the process of losing them. Keep your head high and your heart protected. The universe is watching how you handle this moment, and it is prepared to give you exactly what you settle for. So do not settle for a temporary spark when you deserve a steady flame. Your worth is not a bargaining chip, it is a fact. As the days go by, you will see that the universe is testing your newfound strength. This person may try to pull on your heartstrings by showing a side of themselves they kept hidden for a long time. They might become the person you always dreamed they would be, but only for a few days or weeks. This is why you must remain grounded. The next part of this journey is about watching for consistency. Anyone can be amazing when they are afraid of losing something, but only someone who truly loves you will be amazing when they feel secure. You are looking for a love that stays even when the fear of loss is gone. You are looking for someone who treats you like a priority every Tuesday afternoon, not just when you have your bags packed to leave. You will likely find yourself at a crossroads where you have to weigh the history you share against the future you want. It is okay to feel torn. It is okay to feel loyalty to the time you spent together. But remember that you cannot build a healthy future on top of a broken past. unless the foundation is truly repaired. If they are asking for another chance, they are asking you to trust them again. Trust is not a gift you give. It is something they must earn through repeated actions over time. Do not feel rushed to give them an answer. If they truly value you, they will be willing to wait while you heal and observe. Their patience now will be one of the strongest signs of their intentions. During this time, pay close attention to your own body and your own peace. When they message you or call you, does your heart lift with joy, or does your stomach tighten with anxiety? Your body often knows the truth before your mind is ready to accept it. If their sudden attention feels heavy or draining, it is a sign that your soul has already started to detach. If it feels light and hopeful, perhaps there is a path forward. But no matter what you feel, do not abandon the version of yourself that learned to be happy alone. That version of you is your protector. That version of you saved you when things were falling apart. Never trade your inner peace for a relationship that requires you to shrink yourself. Ultimately, this situation is bringing you to a place of clarity. You are seeing exactly what you are willing to tolerate and what you are no longer willing to accept. Whether this person steps up and stays consistent, or whether they fade away once the panic passes, you have already gained something important. You have gained the knowledge that you are enough exactly as you are. You have learned that you do not need to chase anyone to be seen. That version of you has been replaced by someone wiser and more grounded. You must be prepared for the moment when their grand gesture or sudden change starts to fade. Often, when the immediate fear of loss disappears, people slip back into old habits. This is the real test for both of you. If they truly value the lesson they learned, they will keep showing up, even when things feel normal again. If they only wanted to win you back, they will stop trying once they feel secure. Your job is to stay in your power and not give away your heart too quickly. Watch how they behave when there is no drama and no fear. That is the real person you would be living with every day. People around you might start to notice your new glow. When you stop pouring your energy into a bottomless hole, that energy returns to you. It shows up in your work, your health, and your other relationships. You are becoming a magnet for better things because you have raised your standards. This person sees this too, and it makes them realize that if they do not step up, someone else will. But remember, you are not doing this to create jealousy or to win them back. You are doing this because you realize that you are the most important person in your own life. This realization is your shield against future heartbreak. In the end, this experience is a gift of clarity. It is showing you that you have the strength to change your own life. You no longer need someone else to give you permission to be happy or secure. Whether you decide to let this person back in or continue your journey alone, you are doing it from a place of wholeness. You have turned your pain into a map that leads to your own peace. Trust that the universe is guiding you toward a connection that is easy, honest, and full of respect. You have done the hard work of growing, and now you are ready to receive a love that matches the person you have become. As you step into this new chapter, you will notice your perspective on time changing. You are no longer rushing to fix things or demand answers. This person is now feeling the full weight of your silence and independence. They are beginning to understand that while they were taking your time for granted, you were learning how to invest it in yourself. This realization is what makes their next move so urgent. They are trying to catch up to who you have become, but they are realizing you have moved far ahead emotionally. The gap between who you were and who you are now is what forces honesty to the surface. You will soon see that their actions are a reflection of their inner growth, or lack of it. If they approach you with humility and true understanding of the pain they caused, it shows they have done the work. But if they approach you with excuses or try to make you feel guilty for changing, it shows they are acting out of fear of being alone. You must stay sharp and listen to what is not being said. True change sounds like an apology, followed by consistent behavior over time. It does not sound like many promises made in one emotional moment. You are now the one who decides what is acceptable in your life. You have the right to choose consistency over intensity. There is a quiet strength in realizing you are no longer controlled by someone else's indecision. You have reclaimed your power simply by stepping out of the cycle. That is rare and valuable because it is a version that does not depend on them anymore. This alone makes you even more attractive to them than before. But at the same time, it also makes them realize how serious the situation has become. They understand that if they lose this opportunity now, there may not be another chance later. This kind of pressure will expose who they really are on the inside. You can stay back and observe how they deal with this pressure without feeling any urge to step in, help them, or guide them through the process. The most important thing now is to protect your peace. Because your peace is something sacred that you have earned after going through pain, confusion, and emotional struggle. You worked hard to reach this calm state, and it should not be disturbed by someone else's sudden emotional panic. Whether this person becomes a part of your future or remains only a lesson from your past, you are already in a winning position. You have already proven to yourself that you can go through emotional coldness, disappointment, and distance, and still rebuild yourself into something stronger than before. Your future is becoming brighter because it is no longer based on someone else's mood, attention, or approval. It is now built on your own understanding of your worth. You can keep your heart open to possibilities, but at the same time, your boundaries must remain strong and clear. Trust that whatever is meant for you is already moving toward you in the right timing, even if you cannot see it yet. As you continue moving forward, you will start noticing that your need for explanations from this person slowly fades away. There was a time when you used to spend long moments thinking about why they acted a certain way or why they disappeared emotionally. But now your attention has shifted. Now you are more focused on how you feel, what you want, and what brings you peace. This person can sense this shift very clearly. They can feel that they no longer hold the same emotional control over you that they once had. This is exactly why their next actions may become more intense, more direct, or even unexpected. There is a kind of desperation forming inside them because they are trying to regain the emotional influence they once had over your heart. They are realizing that you are no longer easily affected by small gestures, half-efforts, or empty words. This change in you forces them to look inward and face parts of themselves they have been avoiding for a long time. Your growth has quietly raised the standard, and now they are noticing that they are not the same person who used to meet your emotional space easily. To remain in your life now, they understand that they need to bring something real and stable, not just presence without depth. They may even start opening up about their fears, regrets, or past emotional wounds in ways they never did before. This vulnerability can feel meaningful, even touching, but it does not erase the past, where you were left feeling alone or emotionally unsupported. You are allowed to see their struggle without taking responsibility for fixing it. You have already carried too much emotional weight on your own, and now the balance is no longer your job to maintain alone. There is a deep sense of calm that comes when you finally realize that your stability does not depend on their choices anymore. At this stage, they are reacting to your strength, and that strength is becoming your protection. They are slowly understanding that you are not a backup option or someone who will always remain available no matter what happens. You are a complete person with your own life, your own direction, and your own sense of purpose. As they prepare to make their move toward you, it is important for you to stay grounded in your own goals, your own growth, and your own happiness. Do not allow their sudden reappearance to interrupt the progress you have built in your career, your daily habits, your passions, or your other relationships. Your world no longer revolves around them. In the end, you will come to see that everything you went through was shaping you into someone more aware of their own worth and emotional strength. You have learned that even after emotional breakdowns, you can rebuild yourself with more clarity, more wisdom, and more resilience than before. This person has acted as a reflection in your journey, showing you what you do not want and helping you understand what you truly deserve. You deserve a connection that is consistent, real, and emotionally present, not something that only appears when fear or loss becomes involved. Whether their unexpected actions lead to a new beginning or a final separation, the most important outcome has already been achieved. You have found your voice again. You are no longer silent about your needs, your emotions, or your boundaries. Now you are moving through life with a sense of inner confidence that does not depend on anyone's approval. This is your real transformation. Trust the process that brought you here and continue walking your path with patience and confidence, knowing that your growth is not going backward anymore. As you continue on this journey, you will slowly notice that the mystery of their behavior no longer takes over your thoughts the way it used to. Your mind is becoming quieter, and your focus is shifting toward your own peace and stability. Your happiness is no longer tied to their explanations or excuses. This person is now beginning to feel the absence you created by stepping back. That absence feels unfamiliar to them, and in many ways, uncomfortable. They are starting to realize that life continues moving forward, even without their involvement in your emotional world, and that realization is difficult for them to accept. More importantly, they are also realizing that you did not stop your life for them. You did not freeze your growth, your time, or your energy waiting for them to change. This understanding pushes them closer to a moment of honesty with themselves. They are slowly losing the ability to hide behind pride or avoidance, because the fear of losing you completely is becoming stronger than the fear of opening up emotionally. This inner conflict is what drives their sudden change in behavior.